Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Brethren, today we are going to carry out some warfare, and we are dealing with what I call defeating the relentless, dynamic enemies. The definition of relentless means to be harsh, to be unceasingly intense, which means enemies that are harsh, enemies that are not stopping, enemies that are unceasingly intense in their fight, intense in their operations, intense in their wickedness. Dynamism is defined as a force that stimulates change or progress within a system or process, which means they are constantly transforming their method, constantly changing their mode of operation. The way they operated before is not the way they are going to operate now. They adapt. When you think you have mastered how to defeat them, they transform and turn to something else. Brethren, this type of enemies, they are very difficult to fight against. They are the enemies that can make a battle to last forever. They are the enemies that can make a battle to last for a long time. They are the enemies that are difficult to defeat. They are enemies that frustrate the people of God. They are enemies that push people to a limit whereby people say, I don't know what to do again. These are relentless enemies. They are dynamic in their operations and their forms. They keep changing. They keep transforming. They keep bringing new things into the war front, to the battle. They change their forms. They put on new protection. They put on new deception. They put on new weapons. They do a lot of things. And that's why they are difficult to fight against. But today, the power of our God is going to fight for us. Look at 1 Chronicles chapter 20. 1 Chronicles chapter 20 in verse 4. 1 Chronicles 20 verse 4. And it came to pass after this, that there arose war at Gaza with the Philistines. Israel had been fighting with the Philistines before even David was born. Israel has been in this battle from the very beginning. If you like, you call it generational battle. They had issues with Abraham. They had issues with Isaac. They had war with Jacob. So it has been a generational war. And why did the Bible say, and it came to pass after this? After what? After all the battles that have been fighting since. After everything Israel have done. After everything Israel have thrown into the battle. After every effort Israel have made to make this war to stop. You see, after this, there arose still another war. There arose another war. A war at Gaza with the Philistines. At which time, Sibbecai, Hushathite, slew Sippai, that was of the children of the giants. We've been seeing giants in the tribe of Philistines before. We've been seeing them use giants for their warfare. Use giants. But this time around, brethren, they are now releasing more giants. Because the time David fought them first as a child, it was only one giant, only Goliath that came. This time around, they are now training and breeding new breed of giants. New breed of giants that have even better capabilities than Goliath. Now look at what, let's continue. And they were subdued. Do you see that? Only subdued, not destroyed, not wiped out, not completely quenched. They were subdued, verse 5. And there was war again. Do you see the language of the Bible? Because this war refused to stop. Now you might think that if we have subdued them, shouldn't that be the end of war? Shouldn't war stop now permanently? But the Bible says, no, these enemies are relentless. The Philistines, they are dynamic. So they came back, they went back, licked their wounds, healed their wounds, got prepared, returned back again for another war. The Bible says, again, with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair, slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite. Do you see that? Now, from that family, they've raised another giant again. You think you have killed one enemy. From the same house, they raise another one. Brethren, this is the dynamism. This is the relentlessness we are talking about. When you think you have defeated the enemies in the foundation, and the foundation is now breeding fresh enemies, raising fresh fighters. So they now kill this Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. Verse 6. And yet again, there was war at Gath. Do you see? You think you have just defeated one. You think you have killed one good giant. You think you have killed the other giant. Another war again. This is the relentlessness we are talking about. This is the dynamism we are talking about. Where was a man? Take note of this now. Because they've killed how many giants now? They've killed Goliath. They've killed this other two. They now say we are coming. They changed their form. They increased their method. Where was a man of great stature? The Bible didn't call this one giant again. Whose fingers and toes were 24. Do you see that? 24 fingers. He has 6 in each hand. Before, they were bringing the one that had 5 fingers like normal human beings. Now they've gone to now get a kind of, if you don't know what creature. That's why the Bible says he was a great stature. And he has 6 again on each foot. And he also was the son of the giant. But the Bible said this one now was able to do what? Verse 7. He was able to defy Israel. He was able to defy Israel. All these other ones, they've been killing. Those ones will just come, they will kill them. But this one succeeded in defying Israel. So the Bible says when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, slew him. These were born unto the giants in Gath. And they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Now, if there was nobody like David in the land, and there was nobody fighting like David and his men, do you know that these giants will have continued to terrorize Israel? This is the things we are dealing with. Enemies that don't give up. Enemies that don't accept defeat. No matter how many times you beat them, they don't accept defeat. They don't retreat. They don't surrender. Enemies that keep changing their forms. That keep introducing new things every time into the battles. Enemies that are difficult to fight with. Enemies that wear people out. That make people to give up and walk away. Terrible enemies. I'm showing you the dynamism. I'm showing you the relentlessness of enemies. And that's why today's battle, brethren, is battle to defeat them permanently. Luke chapter 11. Luke chapter 11. Look at verse 14. Luke 11:14. And he was casting out a devil. The devil is an enemy. We all know that one. The devil is an enemy. He said Jesus Christ was casting out a devil. And he said it was the spirit of dump. And it came to pass when the devil was gone out, so he drove the devil out. By authority and power, Jesus drove the devil out. And the dumb spake. The person was set free. The person was free and started to talk. And the people wondered. You might think that, well, thank God, this battle is over, isn't it? The enemy has been defeated. It's wonderful. God, the name of the Lord is glorified. Verse 15. But some of them said, he casted out devil through Beelzebub, the chief of the devils. And others, tempting him, sought of him a sign from heaven. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And a house divided against a house falleth. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devil through Beelzebub. 19. And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore shall they be your judges. But if I with the finger of God cast out devils, no doubt the kingdom of God is come upon you. When a strong man. You know, what they wanted to do was to distract Jesus with those allegations. To say those things, to provoke him. So that they will now begin to talk about something else. And forget the miracle that just happened. and not give God the glory for the deliverance that just happened. But now look, Jesus has answered them the way he wanted to answer them, and now return back to address that devil that he cast out. Look at what he started to teach them now. Verse 22, but when a strong man, verse 21, when a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. He said we should know that the enemies operate like strong men. They are not just ordinary enemies. He said, but when a stronger than he shall come upon, he said, if you are going to defeat them, you have to be stronger than them. You have to be stronger. He said, when you come upon him, take it from him all his armor. The first thing, you disarm them. Wherein he trusts, and then you divide his spoil. You can do to them as you like. Verse 23. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth. When the unclean spirit, this is 24, where I'm going now. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, the people standing there don't know that one. The people that were watching, that saw the man speaking, that saw the devil cast out, and so they don't know this mystery Jesus was telling them now. He said, listen carefully. This is what happens. He said, anytime you see the unclean spirit driven out of a man, cast out of a man, you know, one might think that, well, yeah, this unclean spirit has been defeated. This unclean spirit has been cast out. That's the end. He said, no, it doesn't work that way. He said, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he said he will begin to roam about. He walketh through dry places, looking for rest. And finding none, he said, I will return unto my house whence I came out. Do you see the relentlessness? He said, I will go back to where I came from. How was he so sure and confident that he can go back that easily? Which means he's going to come to try. He will come to fight. He will come to put up every effort he can to see if he can return back. He said, I will go back to where I came out from. Verse 25. And when he cometh, he findeth it swept and garnished. Look at what he does now. He changes his form. Dynamism comes in. Dynamism comes in. Immediately he fell for throwing the relentlessness, not giving up, not accepting defeat. If they bring that one in force, what follows is they change their form. He knew that if he maintained the same form, he will still be defeated again that same way. So they will change their form. They will move to another level. Look at what is there. He goeth and taketh to him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And they enter in and they dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Do you see the operation? Do you see the relentless enemies? Do you see the rugged enemies? Do you see the dynamic enemies? Now, before the demon was only one, now he has now changed his whole method of operation. Changed his mode, changed everything. Now he's no longer alone. He's no longer alone. He has now power that are more wicked and more difficult to drive out. And they now enter. And they now make the life of that person worse than the way it was before. And it was only Jesus that can reveal this kind of a thing. Because he sees them all. He knows what they are doing. Brethren, this is what we are talking about. Listen carefully. This does not just apply to possessed people. Demons that possess people's body. And you drive them out, they come back. No, it does not apply to that alone. It also includes foundational enemies. Wickedness in the foundations that you think you have defeated, that you drove away. Powers of darkness that are inhabiting different places, inhabiting the foundation, inhabiting the waters, the trees, inhabiting the land. And in the battle, you have driven them away. And now they have gone to different parts of the earth. They've gone to the heavenlies. They've gone to the waters. And they've now invited more wicked powers, more stubborn powers. They've invited power to reinforce themselves. And they have returned back to that water, to that building, to that land, to that tree, to that environment. And now the battle has now become complicated. They have changed their dynamism. They have changed their mode of operation. They have changed everything. And that's why you see, sometimes you fight some battle, the Lord will show you clear victory that yes, you are free. It's just like that man when Jesus cast out that devil. Every person saw it that the man spake. Then suddenly you see that I'm seeing another dream again that is contrary to the one I saw before. I'm seeing another dream again suggesting that this problem is back. That there's an enemy, and the enemy I'm seeing now is not the same type I was seeing before. He's telling you they've gone back to change their forms. They've introduced dynamism into the battle. They've introduced dynamism. They've made themselves stronger so that you cannot drive them away so easily anymore. That's the kind of enemy we are fighting against here today. 1 Kings chapter 20. 1 Kings chapter 20. Look at verse 1. And Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts together. And there were 32 kings with him, and horses and chariots. And he went up and besieged Samaria and warred against it. You can see the enemy's aggression. They came against Samaria, against Israel, and they were fighting against it. Verse 2. And he sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, into the city, and said unto him, Thus said Ben-Hadad, thy silver and thy gold is mine. You see now, this enemy that is fighting over finances. Fighting over finances. Say your silver and your gold, they belong to me. Thy wives also and thy children. Is they fighting over marriages also. Even the goodliest, they are mine. And the king of Israel answered and said, O my lord, O king, according to thy saying, I am thine on all that I have. This one did not even struggle. Did not struggle at all. Look at verse 21. And the king of Israel went out, because at the end of this, the man was now making demand for everything. Ridiculous demands. And they cried to the prophet, and the prophet of God said, go and fight. That's the only way out. If you keep doing humility before the enemy, you can't stand it. Go and fight for your life. So they decided to fight. The king of Israel went out and smote the horses and the chariots and slew the Syrians with a great slaughter. Brethren, do you see that? Isn't that wonderful? For children of God, for Israel, for the people of God, for the church, for believers to smite the enemies, to defeat the enemy, to put the enemies to flight. That is beautiful. That's how it's supposed to be. But you might think that, well, Ben-Hadad will go home and that's the end. Isn't it? You might think that, well, Ben-Hadad has been defeated. Battle has ended. No more war. Brethren, the Bible said one thing. He said, all these things happened to them. And they were written down for who? For us. So that we read them and learn from their own battles what happened to them. So that we'll be able to adapt it to our own battles today. That even though our own enemy, they are partly physical, they are mostly spiritual, that this is the nature and behavior of the enemies. One might think that Ben-Hadad will say, well, I didn't know that Israel is this powerful. Let's not go there again. Let's leave them alone. So the king of Israel went out. They smote them with a great slaughter. Isn't that what we do to the enemies every time here? Great slaughter. Verse 22. And look at it. Immediately, because it's easy for the people of God to get carried away with such victory. You know, we come here, we fight, and the Lord comes down and fight for us. And he shows us what a great thing he has done. He shows us how we have slaughtered the enemies. And it's easy to be carried away. But immediately, the Lord sent the prophet. He said, quickly go and tell Ahab. Go and tell the king of Israel. Which message did he send to him? The prophet came to the king of Israel and said unto him, go now. Go and prepare. He said, go and strengthen yourself and mark what I'm telling you now. And see, know what you are doing. Don't be stupid. Know what you are doing. For at the return of the year, this time next year, the king of Syria is coming back again. Because of what? Relentless enemy. Relentless enemy. He said, don't think you defeated him. You slaughtered all his army. Destroyed everything. He said, don't, he's going to prepare. It will take him only 1 year to get ready. Only 1 year. Brethren, that's what happened to some people. I'm talking about us now. When we started this battle, we took our enemies by surprise. They did not know where the prayers came from. They did not know where the strength and the power and the knowledge came from. We took them by surprise and we slaughtered them with a great slaughter. But do you think they will just walk away and that's the end? No. The few that escaped, those one went and looked for how to solve the problem. So the prophet was saying, he said, this time next year they are coming back. So know what you are doing. You yourself, don't sleep. Begin to prepare yourself. Verse 23. Look at it now. In the enemy's camp. In the enemy's camp. And the servants of the king of Syria said unto him, their gods are gods of the hills. Therefore they were stronger than we. But let us fight against them in the plain, and surely we shall be stronger than they. And do this thing. Do you see what are they doing now? Dynamism. They are introducing dynamism now into their battle. They say we have discovered our mistakes. We've discovered our mistakes. First of all, we made the mistake to fight them in the mountains. That's where they have strength. Number two thing is, look at what they said. He said, do this thing. Take the kings away. We went to the battle with kings. We don't want kings. We don't want kings. We went to battle with kings, and every man out of his place, and put what? Captains in. We need warriors. Instead of sending kings, 32 kings to the battle, we don't need all those things. Let the kings stay away. Give us captains of war. Do you see dynamism now? They started now to reshuffle their method and their strategy and the way they fight. They started now to reorganize. So they've started to introduce fresh dynamism into the battle. This dynamism is going to come as a surprise to Israel next time. Israel will not be prepared for this. The first time they fought this battle, when they got there, Ben-Hadad was drunk because they had 32 kings. All of them were eating and drinking. They were all drunk because kings are known for eating banquet and enjoying themselves. So they now say, no, we don't want kings that will be drunk in battle. Give us captains. So next time, Israel is not going to face drunken people anymore. They are going to face people that their eyes are clear. People that are ready for war. Verse 25. He said, and numbered and like the army that thou hast lost. So they lost the whole army. They lost that whole army. Brethren, when you fight a battle whereby you destroy a whole army, isn't that a wonderful victory? Shouldn't you expect that, well, at least this battle is over for life? But having lost the whole army, they say, don't worry, replace a brand new army. You see the dynamism we are talking about, brethren. They say, let us number a new army, like the one that you love, horse for horse, for chariots, and we will fight against them in the plain. Surely we shall be stronger than they. And hearken unto their voice, and did so. So Israel this time around is going to get a different kind of enemy. Verse 26. And it came to pass at the return of the year, exactly as the prophet said, that Ben-Hadad numbered the Syrians and went up to Aphek to fight against Israel. And the children of Israel were numbered. Thank God for prophecy. Believers that don't have the gift of prophecy. Believers that don't see and they don't hear, they are in danger. Believers that don't get information from heaven, they are in terrible risk. Assuming Israel did not have information. Assuming there was no prophet to tell the king of Israel ahead of time. Assuming Israel didn't spend 1 year preparing and waiting for this enemy. Assuming they came upon Israel unawares. Assuming Israel was just still celebrating and rejoicing and dancing because of the past victory. This enemy will have come upon them unawares. And that's the grace of revelation. So they came and Israel was already ready. And the children of Israel were numbered and were all present and were against them. And the children of Israel pitched before them like 2 little flocks of kids. But the Syrians filled the country. Even though Israel was ready, but population, the whole population of Israel has always been very few. The children of God are always few in number compared to the enemy's number. So he said they were like just 2 little group of flocks, whereas the enemy filled the country. 28. And there came a man of God and spake unto the king of Israel and said, thus saith the Lord, because the Syrians have said, the Lord is God of the hill, but he is not the God of the valley. Therefore will I deliver all this great multitude into thy hand, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. And they pitched one over against the other 7 days. And so it was that in the 7th day, the battle was joined. And the children of Israel slew of the Syrians 100,000 footmen in 1 day. They slaughtered 100,000 in 1 day. But the rest fled to Aphek into the city. And there a wall fell upon them, 27,000 of men that were left. And Ben-Hadad fled and came into the city, into an inner chamber. You know, one will now think that Ben-Hadad will now say, well, that's it. We've tried 2 times. There's nothing we can do anymore. let's go and see what to do. Let's give up on this battle. Isn't it? When the enemies fail in one strategy, they introduce now dynamism. They bring in dynamism. They change their method completely. Verse 31. And his servant said unto him, behold now, we have heard that the king of the house of Israel are merciful. This is where they capture Christians. They say, you are a child of God now, man of God, woman of God. Forgive me now, you are forgiven. They are the first to kneel down. The Bible says, forgive and you shall be, they will quote Bible for you. And ignorantly the children of God will say, I forgive you, stand up, I forgive you. If it was Ahab that Ben-Hadad captured, and Ahab knelt down and begged him, will he forgive him? So they now started to devise another strategy. This time around, it's a survival strategy. Why do they want to survive? They want to survive so that they can go back and plan again. So that they can go back and change and introduce a brand new dynamism into the battle. That's the strategy. So they say, we heard that the king of Israel is a merciful king. Let us, I pray thee, put sackcloth on our loins and robes upon our heads and go out to the king of Israel. Peradventure, he will save thy life. Verse 32. So they gathered sackcloth on their loin, put rope on their head, and came to the king of Israel and said, thy servant Ben-Hadad said, I pray thee, let me live. Don't kill me. And he said, is he yet alive? He is my brother. From where did Ben-Hadad become your brother? He is your brother. Verse 38. So the prophet, after those kind of blunder, God sent that prophet again. The prophet now came to the king. The prophet departed and waited for the king by the way and disguised himself with the ashes upon his face. And as the king passed by, he cried unto the king, and he said, thy servant went out into the midst of the battle. And behold, a man turned aside and brought a man unto me and said, keep this man. If by any means he be missing, then shall thy life be for his life. So you now see that it was God that handed over Ben-Hadad to Ahab. It was God. And why did they hand him over? So that he can slaughter him. So that he will not come back again another year to trouble him. Brethren, tonight the Lord is giving us the necks of our enemies, that we might destroy them that hate us. Please, let's not behave like Ahab. You say, oh yes, thou shalt pay a talent of silver. Verse 40. And as thy servant was busy here and there, busyness, we are busy with a lot of things, he was gone. And the king of Israel said unto him, so shall thy judgment be. Thyself has decided it. And he hasted and took the ashes away from his face. And the king of Israel discerned him that he was of the prophets. And he said unto him, thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go out of thy hand a man whom I did what? I appointed to utter destruction. He said, in the record of heaven, I've signed off this man's life. I've approved this man for you to destroy this man. And I handed him over to you to slaughter him. And you released him. You call him your brother. Call him your brother. He said, therefore, thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people. Do you remember how Ahab died? Which battle? Against the same Syria. Go to Ramoth Gilead and fall. When the prophets were prophesying, jumping up before him, who go to Ramoth Gilead and fall. That was how he fell. That same Syria. He says, since you could not kill your enemy, I handed him right to you like this. You let him go. Say, your life will go for his life. Your people will go for his people. Verse 43. And the king of Israel went to his house heavy and displeased and came to Samaria. Do you see now? Enemy tried force 2 times. They now changed the strategy to diplomacy. They now came as friends. They came as friends, and that one worked. That one worked. That was the one now that took the life of. It's the life of Ahab they have been looking for since. And that's the one that now gave them victory. At least the prophet pronounced destruction upon Ahab. Brethren, the enemies we are fighting against, they are not stupid. They know we are powerful, more powerful than them. They know the capacity and the power of our God. They know that they cannot fight us. All they are doing is all these strategies they are deploying, especially where there is pure ignorance ruling, especially where the people of God are blind and ignorant, don't know anything, can't see. where the spirit of prophecy is not functional. So tonight the Lord has brought us into this battle, and the whole target today is against enemies. Enemies that are relentless. Enemies that we have defeated before, but they've gone back to get 7 more wicked spirits now, and they have come back again to fight. Enemies that you defeated before, and they've gone back to remove all the whole weaklings among them and introduce real professional warriors into the battle. Enemies that as you are destroying, they are rebuilding. As you are destroying, they are rebuilding. Enemies that are dynamic in everything they do. The face they show you today is not the face they will show you tomorrow. Enemies that are telling you that you are a small child. I have dealt with generations that are stronger than you. But our God will fight for us today. Let's stand up. Let's begin to talk to the Lord. First of all, let's tell the Lord that my God and my Father, everything that I have done in any way, whether I remember them or not, whether in the body or in the spirit, everything that I have done, Lord, that will not allow you to fight for me today, Father, please forgive me.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.